On today's episode, there's something crazy going on.
Hold on, there's something crazy going on.
Dad gives you obvious advice.
Do not drop your knife on your foot. That would be a very bad idea.
And he gets his infomercial on.
And I saved a ton of money, and you can save a ton of money by doing it yourself.
Who got this? Dad got this.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Dad Got This. Today's just a quick video. We're not actually cooking anything. We're just prepping today. Dad went to the good old Sam's Club, and I bought a whole prime tenderloin. This is gonna make it so that I can get filet mignon for pretty cheap, like 50% off of what you would buy the actual broken down fillets. The other nice thing you do is you get a nice section that you can cut up for, hold on, there's something crazy going on. What's going on in here? I heard a bunch of crashing and... Sorry about that. It was just a bunch of jewelry. The other nice thing about doing this is you can get an extra section off the side of the tenderloin, which you can cut out meat for hamburger grinding, or we're gonna try to separate the meat from the silver skin and make it so that we can get some good stir-fry meat out of it. This is about 6 1/4 pounds, and it was 65 bucks. That's pretty cheap when you're gonna consider how many steaks we're gonna get out of this and how much meat we're gonna get out of this. It's about $10.60 a pound, which is way cheaper than you would pay for filet mignon steaks. Plus you get a bunch of extra bonus meat. Bonus meat. I don't know if I would eat bonus meat in general, but this bonus meat I would eat. I've never broken one down, but I think I know what I'm doing. We're gonna find out. First thing you need, a really sharp knife. We're gonna go ahead and cut open this package. And what I like to do is cut a window in the top. There we go. And then you're able to kind of pull the meat out of this cryo bag and leave a lot of the juices in the bottom of the cryo bag. And it makes a little bit less of a mess. Grab some paper towels and blot this down. All right, looking at this, we're gonna go ahead and separate the chain. Okay, this is the main tenderloin. This part at the front that you can actually just kind of grab with your hands and pull is called the chain. And we're gonna separate that as much as we can by hand before we need to really kind of get into it with the knife. And it just kind of pulls apart, and then we're gonna run the knife kind of along the edge here just to give it a little bit of help. And you'll see there's a line right there that really tells you what you're doing. And it kind of comes off in one chunk. That's called the chain. And that actually has some great meat in it. You can grind that right up for hamburger meat, or you can do like we're gonna do, and we're gonna try and separate the meat out of it from all this silver skin and get some stir-fry meat. But that little beeping noise was the kiddo wants pizza. I gotta throw some frozen pizzas in the oven. Hold on. All right, we got 16 minutes before we gotta serve the kid pizza. Let's see if we can handle this. All right, we've got some silver skin here. And the easiest way to get that is we're gonna flip this. We're just gonna run our knife under the corner here because you don't wanna waste the meat. And this is where a sharp knife is super important. That I have not done this before. I've removed silver skin from ribs before, but never from all right, so there's a bit of fat that's coming off here. And that's just coming right off of my hand, which is nice. And you can just pick a lot of this fat off with your hand. I know there's uses for beef fat. If anybody's got really good uses for beef fat, let me know in the comments. I don't really know anything to do with it. Pick a lot of this clean without ruining any meat. All right, and here's our silver skin that we're trying to get rid of. And I'm able to just get a finger under there, which is actually working pretty well. Now we barely lost any meat there. That's good. And let's see if we can continue that finger under method. All right. And then if I remember correctly, this is actually another muscle right here. You can see a natural separation right here, which is another muscle, which you can break apart into a small roast. Or I've seen some people actually take it and they flattened it out for a steak, which is an interesting concept. All right. Now I've got a little bit more tearing going on here than I would have liked, but we're gonna go ahead and try and remove the last of this silver skin. Oh, that's not too bad. We didn't lose too much meat there. Got meat on my shirt though. All right, and we're gonna go ahead and just follow the natural line. And then, like I said, you can make this into a little roast. I saw somebody pound it out and make it into a steak, which I think is an awesome idea. I might try that and sous vide it. But we'll clean it up a little bit from some of this fat that probably wouldn't come out very good anyway. And it's got a little piece of silver skin on it. And that silver skin will never break down. It'll never be tender. It'll just ruin whatever it is you're eating. So let's see if we can't get a finger under there. Nope. We're gonna have to do the cut and lose a little meat. And like I said, I've never done this, but I want to show you that it's not hard, even if you've never done it. All right, that's a nice little chunk of meat right there. And then that's your beef tenderloin. You've got your tail and your end here, and then this is where you're gonna get your steaks from. And we're gonna cut, I don't know, 2-inch steaks. I need to look at the camera a little bit more. But it's hard. I've got a sharp knife and a piece of beef here that I'm trying to not murder. All right, let's pull off some of this fat. Now, some of the fat on here will actually break down and be nice in a steak. A little bit of fat never hurt. I always thought fat is flavor, but it depends on how the fat is. If it's this thick, hard fat, it's not gonna break down, and you probably wanna trim most of that off. I really need to get a meat grinder because that meat grinder attachment for my KitchenAid would let me grind this up into some fantastic burger meat. That's a nice looking tenderloin. We're gonna wanna cut our steaks from the thickest part here, and I'm gonna go for 2-inch steaks about. I like them thick. 1.5 to 2 inches. and this is how I like to do it to keep my steaks all the same thickness. And look at that. That is a nice looking filet. Some are a little smaller, some are a little bigger because that's the way a tenderloin is. But actually, I can get one more from the tail. All right. Now we've got 6 awesome filet mignons right there. These are gonna get cooked up later. Filet is actually the wife's favorite steak. So now we got these pieces of meat. We have this piece of meat we can decide what to do with, and now we gotta attack this chain. This is fat and gristle and all sorts of stuff in here, but there's meat in here. There's solid, good meat in here. You just gotta get to it and separate it from the junk. A lot of that can be done by starting with your hands. That gets me going there. And we're gonna try and do this without losing too much meat. All right, this looks like a good portion to tackle. And you're just treasure hunting. Looking for meat. Good, solid chunks of meat hidden amongst the fat and silver skin. Sharp knife, good control, and you'll end up with good results. If you guys want Dad to do a little video on knives, let me know. I'm not an expert, but I can kind of give you a good idea of what you need in the kitchen and what you'd be wasting money on. For a first-time effort, I'm pretty impressed. This is not that hard to do. Some of the fat just pulls right off. Yeah. Do not drop your knife on your foot. That would be a very bad idea. And actually, yeah, there you go. There's your silver skin. That pulled out pretty nice. There's a little bit of fat in there, but that's a good, solid chunk of meat. All right, let's see what else we got in here. And this looks to be that, yep, loose fat you can just pull off with your hands. And I'm just scraping the back of this silver skin because I'm not worried about 100% like keeping this meat in perfect shape because it's gonna get cut up. But I wanna save as much of the meat as I can. Boom. Nasty silver skin gone. That's a solid chunk of meat. Now I may have some butcher friends or viewers who are butchers who are saying I'm doing a terrible job at this, but I feel like I'm doing okay. All right, that's some nice solid meat right there. I'll leave a little of that fat on there for the stir fry. And this is my last chunk. Let's see. I know beef fat is called tallow. I wonder if I could render it down using sous vide. Alexa, stop. Well, doesn't look like I beat the pizza.
So I sped this up quite a bit, and I just wanted you to be able to see exactly what I went through to get the last bit of the meat out of this thing. Didn't feel like we needed to watch it in real time, but I wanted you to see what it took to get this done.
Now, take a look here. You have all this meat for stir fry, 6 nice size fillets, and then this big bad boy, which I gotta figure out what to do. I might try the pound it and make a steak option out of it. We'll see. But I'm gonna vacuum seal all this up because it's getting used later. There's almost no waste. This is my waste. So that's it. That's how you break down a tenderloin as an amateur. I'm not even a butcher. I don't even know how to do this. I just watched a couple videos, looked around, and figured it out. And I saved a ton of money. And you can save a ton of money by doing it yourself and get some awesome steaks. All right, guys, even when Dad isn't cooking anything and he's just breaking stuff down, Dad doesn't do outros. So that's it.